What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below as it's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on new videos that come out here on our YouTube channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also thanks for hitting the like button for us down below. We got a lot to talk about here today, including how Democrats want President Biden to issue more presidential executive orders and how these rising oil prices and inflation could put us into another recession, and how the daylight savings time that just happened last night at 2 a.m. Eastern time could be the last time that we have daylight savings. Daylight savings happens, I believe it's everywhere except for Arizona and Hawaii. So if you're in Arizona or Hawaii, I think that my videos will be an hour different time for you guys. Let me know in the comments. But the White House sponsored bill would make daylight savings time permanent if passed. If passed. Let me know your thoughts on this. Could this be the last time we set our clocks ahead? If Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, it's funny that he has the name White House, has his way, the answer would be yes. White House is sponsoring this bill at the White House, titled the Sunshine Protection Act, that would make daylight savings time permanent for the entire United States. The legislation is co-sponsored by Republican Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, saying, quote, "Many people spend months looking forward to this weekend when clocks will jump forward ahead an hour and winter starts to fade." White House, but not the White House, said in a news release Saturday, "It's time for Congress to take up our bipartisan legislation to make daylight savings time permanent and brighten the coldest months with an extra hour of afternoon sun." Daylight savings time started last night at 2 a.m., or this morning, I should say, at 2 a.m., and continues into the beginning of November, according to White House's release. In the past 4 years, 18 states have enacted legislation or passed resolutions to mandate year-round daylight savings time, but Congress must act before states can adopt the change. Also, they say that if this was permanent, that it would also provide substantial public health and economic benefits, and that studies have shown that economic activity is reduced during standard time. The release stated that spending more standard work hours in sunlight would reduce rates of seasonal depression, and that the extra hour of afternoon sun actually leads to fewer car accidents because you can see, and even robberies. Yeah, let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'd be for it. I know in wintertime, we hate when it gets dark before 5 o'clock. It's, 4:30 and it's getting dark already sometimes. I'd be for it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I know in summertime when it's 8 o'clock and it's not even dark yet, those nice summer nights are nice. But when it's wintertime and it's like 4 o'clock and it's already starting to get 4:30, it's already starting to get dark. Not my cup of tea, but you can let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, next up, will these high gas prices and oil prices and inflation prices put us into a recession? Check this out.
The combination of higher oil prices and high rate hikes could up the risk of a recession in the latter part of this year. In fact, I'm looking at the U.S. economy with 7 rate hikes this year by the Fed to stall out in the second half of the year at about a 1% rate. That's not enough to keep the unemployment rate from rising again. And I think that's a very important distinction to make. It's a semi-hard landing. It's a recession in everything but name only, in that we don't actually see a contraction in growth. But it is really different. It's remarkable how resilient the U.S. economy has become to higher oil prices. We've seen that over the last decade, and I think that's very important. It is because we are driving more fuel-efficient vehicles, and we are better at how we handle oil than we were in the past. That doesn't mean, and as Steve pointed out, we also produce more oil. That said, not many people are employed in the mining sector, and I think that's a really big problem too. But it really is the
Yeah.
1-2 punch of rate hikes and higher oil that get you into a recession.
Diane, we can sit here all night and enumerate the problems that we're going to be facing. They are considerable. But we have a few assets. Unemployment, 3.9%. We did 7% growth in the fourth quarter. We have an economy that looks to be getting back to normal. I don't want to jinx it. People are going out doing their thing. My band keeps getting booked all the way through October now at this point, which I think is a major economic indicator.
Congratulations,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Steve.
But how does all that play into this issue that you talked about, which is resilience, the resilience of the economy? I would sure rather be hit in a stronger position than in a weaker one.
Well, that's exactly it. The resilience is sort of a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because we can weather the storm a little better. It's a curse for the Fed because it puts more weight on the Fed's shoulders to actually raise rates. And the fine line that they're walking is not just the series of rate hikes and being cautious. That is certainly something to do, and we've got these volatile markets. But the real issue is they don't want the markets doing the job for them, and that is a seizure in credit markets. If we were to see some kind of a seizure fall out of this, where a developing economy defaults other than Russia on their debt, that could spill over on our own shores and be much more costly, as we saw 2008, 2009. Financial crises are not the way you want to get to a recession, as opposed to a Fed-induced slowdown that we could recover out of. And I think that's the fine line that the Fed is walking.
Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here. Do you think we're headed for a recession here this year in 2022? And we do have a lot of indicators that could be pointing us that way. Number one, gas prices sky high. Number two, we have the stock markets. The stock market has been down here for 5 weeks in a row now, and we're actually near a 1-year low for the Dow and the S&P. But if you're a long-term investor, it's actually a great time to buy. You know the saying, buy low, sell high. You don't want to buy high. A lot of emotional investors, that's what they do. When everything's going crazy, going up, 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 that's when people buy. You actually want to do the reverse. You want to buy when it's low, hold on to it till it goes high, or just hold on to it long term, because the stock market tends to go up over time. New investors, emotional investors tend to do the opposite. Well, we've been down for 5 weeks straight now. Remember, the age-old saying is you don't want to buy high, sell low, right? And then we also have inflation sky high. Yeah, you can see here US inflation soared 7.9% in the past year. This is the newest February inflation rating. This is basically the past 12 months from February to February. And this is at 7.9%, the highest rating in 40 years. You can see here, propelled by surging costs for gas, food, and housing, consumer inflation jumped 7.9% over the past year, the sharpest spike since 1982. And I was born in 1981. I just turned 41 years old. So that shows you how long it's been, 40 years. But it's not like this has never happened before, just 40 years. And likely only a harbinger of even higher prices to come, because gas has just been surging here, especially at the uh, beginning of March here. You can see here the price of gas has not gone up here on the national average for the last 2 days in a row now, I believe. And the day before that, it actually went down by 1 penny. So they have, I guess, stabilized for 3 days now. Uh, Not that that's anything to speak of, but the national average is $4.32 here for about 3 days in a row. 3 days in a row. A week ago it was $4 even, and a month ago it was 3.48. Now it's 4.32. So that just shows you how much gas has gone up in 1 week. In 1 week. A year ago, it was 285, a dramatic difference. We were still coming off the lows of the pandemic there, and a little bit of kind of the still country, the country being closed a little bit March of 2021. Still a little bit. I mean, those are kind of artificial lows. That really wasn't kind of what the country was used to per se. I mean, you could let me know your thoughts on that there. I mean, diesel was 306 there. I'm probably in the way there a little bit. But diesel is now $5.13 a gallon. And a month ago, that was only 388. I mean, that's just a tremendous amount. That's gone up $1. And what is that? That's 12. That's $1.25, if my quick mental math serves me correctly there. $1.25 that diesel has gone up there. That's a tremendous amount here for diesel. Wow, that's a lot in just 1 month. So just think about how much gas and diesel has gone up in a month, and that's why a lot of people are saying that we could be headed for a recession. We could be headed for a recession. The price of oil here has stabilized as well. If you've been watching my channel, this is down significantly. This is kind of held firm here for several days around this kind of mark, in this area. Brent crude at 112 and WTI crude at 109. Remember that the highs, this was over 130. The high, I think, was at 139 briefly. And we're down to 112, 109. So finally, gas has at least stopped going up. Again, it should be down at least somewhat because of how much lower these are than the highs. But that's where we kind of get the where the Democrats are saying that they should issue stimulus checks um, based on the gas companies should pay stimulus checks based on their profits that they're gouging the American consumer. I'll link you to a video here. The Democrats have an actual bill for that. If you haven't seen that, I'll link you to that video here at the end of this video. You definitely want to watch that. There could be actual stimulus checks, and they could make the gas companies pay for this. This is an actual bill that the Democrats have already drafted, and they could force them to do this congressionally. This by actually taxing the gas companies. And the gas companies, I've seen some people saying, well, then the gas companies would raise the price of gas even more, and they can't really do that because then they would be taxed even more. So it's not just can't just really do that per se. Meanwhile, you could see here House Democrats from the House of Representatives want more executive actions from Biden regarding stimulus checks, student loan debt cancellation, and it says President keeps up effort to blame Putin for inflation and gas prices. Democrats want Biden to actually pass more executive actions to help the people and to get more stimulus type measures done. And they're saying that Biden should be taking more action. Remember that former President Donald Trump did issue a similar type executive order. You can see this old headline here. Um, Trump's executive order guarantees $300 per week in enhanced unemployment checks for some workers. And those went out for, I believe, 6 weeks for a total of $1,800 checks for millions of Americans. So, and again, that was kind of approved stimulus money. The money was from the Disaster Relief Fund. And very similar to what could be done today because there's $800 billion of approved stimulus money that could be used to pass a executive order to send out checks to Americans. Now, they don't have to be for unemployed Americans because there's not unemployed bonus checks going on right now, but they could use it for anybody. Trump just decided to send it out to unemployed Americans. He could have decided to, send them out to any group of people that he wanted to. That's just what he happened to decide to do. But Biden could do this for anybody. He could choose low income Americans. He could choose anything like that. And that's probably what the most likely scenario would be, because that's who inflation is hitting the hardest right now. So this seems, and if you've been watching my show, you know that this is, well, not through executive order, but this is exactly what states are doing right now. All sorts of different states are literally passing um, state stimulus checks, announcing state stimulus checks, proposing state stimulus checks, or pausing gas taxes, reducing state taxes, all sorts of different stimulus type measures, stimulus type programs like this going on the state level. So Democrats say that Biden needs to start doing stuff with executive orders as well. Whether that is doing an executive order to pass checks, or Democrats also want Biden to do an executive order to cancel student loan debt for students as well. So remember, Democrats want him to do up to $50,000 of student loan debt cancellation. So far, Biden has extended the student loan payment pause until April 30th will be the last day that will be paused, which is only until the end of next month. But that has been a pretty big relief for, I think it's a little bit over 40 million Americans that haven't had to pay on their student loans for, I think it's over 2 years now, something around that. So that's been a huge stimulus measure, stimulus program, we'll call it. There's been so many different types of stimulus programs that are going on or have gone on. We think about payments or payment pause of student loans. That's just one of the programs. SNAP benefits, pandemic EBT, rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance, stimulus checks, paycheck protection program, money for small businesses, all sorts of different things here. And the payment pause on student loans, like I said, there's over 40 million adults that have student loans. And for some people, that's like another car payment. And for a lot of people, I mean, because student loan payments aren't like $50 a month. For most people, they're hundreds of dollars a month, because going to college is expensive. Going to college is very expensive. So the question here, at some point, they're gonna have to start up again. It's been 2 years of no payments, no interest, and no penalties. At some point, they're gonna have to start up again. I mean, Trump paused those and Biden paused those. At some point, they're going to be starting up again. The question is, are we going to see some student loan debt cancellation as well? Biden has said in the past he would consider doing $10,000 of student loan debt forgiveness for everybody. There has been student loan debt forgiveness. There has been about $11.5 billion in student loan debt forgiveness last year, as you can see here in this headline from Forbes, mostly for people with disabilities, people that were in the the public service loan forgiveness program, and for colleges that defrauded people or closed on people. And also this year, the student loan payment processor Nivient has also canceled a lot as well for private student loan company or student loan holders if they fell into a certain criteria as well. And there's probably going to be a lot more this year as well. I'll keep you up to date with everything here. And Democrats want more executive orders out of Biden. And remember, he's a Democrat. They're his own parties. And it'll be interesting to see what happens here, especially with it being an election year. The whole House and the whole Senate is up for re-election. Um, so normally they try to make big moves in an election year to, you know, shore up votes, regardless of whether that's right or wrong. It could put money in more people's pockets. So I will keep you up to date here with everything. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so. It just makes it so the YouTube algorithm will show you our videos and you won't miss out on new videos. So make sure to subscribe right now if you haven't yet, and also help us reach 400,000 subscribers. We're almost there. We're at 399,000. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After subscribing, click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. You can click here to watch my newest video next. And you can click here to see how there could be $300 per month or $3,600 anti-inflation checks here on the federal level for everybody. So click on that one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.